An underrated game this weekend is SMU versus Memphis. It's a game that will have big implications for the AAC race for the championship, and the Mustangs are looking to get to the top, as are the Tigers. Now, SMU has a little bit easier path, and Memphis is hoping to keep their playoff or their championship hopes alive. And also, you have New Year's Six implications because teams like James Madison aren't eligible. The Mountain West has kind of cannibalized itself. You have an AAC championship game that is very much in reach for both of these teams, and a win in this game essentially determines their fate. SMU has been playing really well lately. I think this offense is finally just firing on all cylinders. Preston Stone feels a lot more comfortable. He looks a lot more comfortable, and this defense has been a surprise. I think when you look at this team, you expected the offense and Rhett Lashley to figure things out, and they're averaging about 40 points per game. So I'd say they have it figured out. But the difference, and one of the things that we've been talking about with whether it's Rhett Lashley or Sonny Dykes, is the defense needed to step up. If you are not going to stop anybody, it doesn't matter how many points you score. Eventually, you're going to get beat. Eventually, you're going to look bad. And so far, I think we've seen the biggest difference in the defense. This is a defense that's giving up under 17 points a game, pretty much unheard of for SMU standards over the past decade. And I think that that's been the biggest difference. Obviously, Preston Stone playing a lot better is a huge difference maker because I think that if you don't have an improved Preston Stone, they lose that Rice game 2 weeks ago. I think that they lose that game for sure because the defense can only do so much. And also, they kind of slipped up a little bit. You needed the offense to play well, and that's exactly what they did. They are figuring things out offensively, and this defense has been really fun to watch as well. I think they're the more balanced team in this matchup, and I think that Memphis has a lot to work through, and I think they have a lot on their hands. But they're also extremely explosive. They're almost averaging 40 points per game, and their defense isn't as good as SMU's, but their offense can be really fun. And obviously, a player like Blake Watson, who once again, one of the best additions in the transfer portal, Blake Watson. I think Ryan Silverfield deserves a lot of credit for his ability to bring Watson from ODU to Memphis. And he is someone who will definitely have a big impact on this game. He will definitely command a lot of attention from SU's defense. But I think that Memphis's defense needs to step up in a big way. This is a defense that's given up just under 29 points a game. That's not going to win you a lot of football games. And against SMU, a team that is figuring out their stuff on offense, they are finding their footing. That doesn't bode well for Memphis. So you have to find a way to be disruptive. You have to find a way to get to the quarterback, and you have to find a way to confuse Preston Stone and what that SMU offense wants to do. Now, when you're looking at certain matchups, there's so many because of the depth on SMU's offense and also on Memphis's offense. There's so many matchups to watch. When you look at SMU runs four deep at the running back position. Their receivers are seemingly endless. Memphis kind of has a similar situation. Blake Watson is a little bit more of a bell cow. That situation a little bit more, I would say a lot more actually, defined than what SMU has. But when you look at wide receiver, obviously Rock Taylor and Demir Blankensee stand out the most, but there are a number of other players that will contribute as well. And it's Seth Hennigan's job to find them downfield. In the past, this has been a really entertaining game. You look at last year, 34-31 SMU. The year before that, 28-25 Memphis, 30-27 SMU year before. The most entertaining game, 2019, the 54-48 win for Memphis. This series has been back and forth, and we should expect that to be the case again. These are two teams that like to put up points, and we're hoping more for that 54-48 game. I think you're looking at a more of that 34-31, 30-27 type result. I think that defense will play a role for both teams, and it's just a matter of how many stops the other side can get. And both quarterbacks have to do their part. Seth Hennigan is super underrated, as is Preston Stone. And I think next year, assuming they both come back, they'll be two of the better quarterbacks in this conference with certain guys moving on. And there'll be two quarterbacks that I think have a lot of potential to be some of the best quarterbacks in college football. Preston Stone obviously has elevated his game as of recently. The beginning of the year, it looked like he was kind of lost. It definitely looked like he needed some time to figure things out. And so far, we've seen that 23 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. Hennigan's right behind him there, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Hennigan's a veteran who knows what he's doing, so he knows what to expect in these big games. When it comes to picking this game, SMU to me is the more complete team, like I said. They are playing really well offensively. Their defense is significantly better than Memphis's. Now, that doesn't mean that Memphis can't pull off win, and that doesn't mean that that Memphis defense can't step up. We've seen them in a number of spots in certain games create turnovers and get the ball back to their offense. If they're able to do that, then I think that you're looking at a team that very much can compete with SMU and can make things interesting. It's just a matter of how many stops they can get. So right now I'm going with SMU. I think that they're the more complete team. Rhett Lashley is getting his team on, they're on a mission right now. And right now that mission includes them winning a conference championship.